Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome once again to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for all your simulation news and happenings from the interwebs. Now this is a special Halloween edition and the first edition of me being back from my break, so let's jump straight into it, shall we, today? So alright, it's been a bit of a week of releases this week in time for the Halloween holidays. So, what we've got today, first of all, we're going to start off with Virtavia's latest offering to us. So this is the Avro Lincoln B Mark II for FSX and also the export versions of the Mark 30, which was used by the RAAF. So, the Avro Lincoln was a extension of the Avro Lancaster, so it was the sort of next evolution of it. Brought out for future deployment if the Second World War had lasted a bit longer. Now the first prototype, the B Mark I, flew on the 9th of June 1944, and it was in its lead up to becoming operational to join Tiger Force, to join the war against Japan in the Pacific. However, the deployment of the weapons in Hiroshima and Nagasaki precluded that from happening, so the possible wartime career of the Lincoln sort of came to an abrupt halt. The Lincoln didn't take part in the Second World War in an active role, however, though it did continue and was used in anti-terrorism operations in Malaya during the 50s, and also is probably notable as it caused a bit of a stir in a bit of a historic thing, a bit of a stir in Europe, though, as one was shot down by Russian MiG-15s while it was on a training flight near the West German border in 1957. So, a bit of a diplomatic incident there, but yeah, that's pretty much its only real claim to fame, other than the fact that, according to the planners and some of the military experts that sort of gave reports and observations about the operations in Malaya, that they believe they killed more monkeys than they did terrorists in Malaya. But anyway, otherwise, Virtavia has produced this absolutely remarkable, amazing model for us. So it's a pure native FSX model. It's got full bump mapping has been applied, which is in their cockpit, in their virtual cockpit, which is the first time actually for them. It's caused its own glitches, but they've, for example, some of the night lighting doesn't appear inside the cockpit and around the cockpit floor. But as a trade-off for the graphics quality with the bump mapping, there it's a reasonable trade-off. So, full animations and all the things that we've come to accept from quality, come to expect from quality Virtavia products over the last few years. And definitely, if you're interested in the sort of World War II sort of piston engine aircraft, definitely something for you to consider looking at and picking up. It's literally just been released, currently available at the Flight Sim store, but it should be available at your favourite online Flight Sim retailer very, very shortly. Alright, moving on to other news today. So what we've got as well, that there's been a couple of new things popping out on the titles as well. So for example, the title Elite Dangerous, which is a space type simulation. It's a long-standing series actually. It started back in the 80s, and this is the latest incarnation of it. This is essentially a MMO style option where you get to be a commander of a ship, and it's up to you what sort of career that you build. It's entered. It's not fully available. It has entered its latest beta state of beta version 3. It looks quite impressive actually. I think, as you can see from the videos here, it is very much a customizable sort of do thing yourself. Looking pretty cool. Got your full support of all your usual simulation type accessories such as your Track IR and apparently Oculus Rift now as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, look, this looks pretty interesting. It's not for me, but the detail and the engines that they seem to be using here are pretty spectacular. So if this is your thing, definitely worth getting involved in now. Definitely worth it. Alright. So, moving onwards and upwards as we do. So, we've also got a couple more releases as well. So, this one's a particular... It's a bit of a weird one, but, I had its predecessor It's weird, but I kind of enjoyed it, but the new one's out. So, Farming Simulator 2015 is now available. So, as you know, I mucked around a bit in 2013, kind of enjoyed it, a little bit weird, but kind of cool. 2015's, or Farming Simulator 15 is now available. This one, they've upped the ante when it comes to the physics model. They really have. So some of the things you could do in 13, which were absolutely insanely stupid, like, you know, being able to, you know, just drive up a vertical hill and drive straight down a vertical drop off at the end and not roll over and die. That's gone. So yeah, it does have a very realistic physics engine now. It's got a few more expansions of like the type of crops and things that you can do, and graphics quality has been really ramped up. So this is very impressive. A few people I know have actually got this already and absolutely loving it. So yeah, if you're into it, don't poo-poo it. Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, well, you're farming simulator. It's like, you know what? There's a lot more to it than just planting crops. There really is. And you know, there's a simulator for everything these days, and the guys over at Giant Software really make some impressive stuff. So yeah, I highly recommend that at least have a look at it. Even if you don't buy it, just have a look at it and see if it's going to tickle your fancy. I myself will probably not be getting it anytime soon, but you never know. Steam sales always come up. We'll see what happens. Alright, and we've also got another new release as well. God, it really has been a week of new releases, hasn't it? So we've got Buzz Aldrin's Space Program Manager has come out. So I'm thinking this is possibly owing its creation owing to how popular the old Kerbals has become. So I think that it's more of a real life sort of Kerbals, really, is what it is. So you can, it does base it very heavily on real life events and real life programs, stuff like that. You can choose to either play as NASA, play as the Soviet space program, or choose a global space agency. Sort of brings it all together. It's a pretty interesting kind of idea. It is, you know, it'd be heavily influenced by Buzz Aldrin. He was one of the leading consultants for this one. It does offer multiplayer as well, straight out of the box, which is interesting. Not sure how that would go. It's more of a play by email type of thing rather than a straight online kind of thing. So yeah, but you know what? It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I mean, you know how much I've loved Kerbals so far. And if you want some really great Kerbals video, definitely check out my good friend here on YouTube, Laser Bolter. Jump over and see him, because I think yeah, he does some amazing stuff in Kerbals. He really does. If you want your more real world, real life kind of thing, rather than flinging little green Kerbals around, this would be the one for you to look at. Very impressive. Have a look at it. It's got, not only does it have real actual space programs in there, it's got what ifs in there as well, which is kind of cool. So the things that never left the drawing board or were, you know, not politically palatable and stuff like that. So yeah, very interesting. Yeah, this one probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have a look at. So that pretty much rounds out the new releases for the moment. Though there has been an add-on from an update from the guys over at Orbx. So pretty important update. The guys over at Orbx have released Vector Update 1.2. So this is a cumulative patch. So you will need to have updated Vector to 1.15 before you download. This adds in a lot of things that were missed in the original release and update. So a lot of people who were sort of complaining that, you know, lakes that, you know, giant lakes that, you know, should be there suddenly upped and disappeared on people, they've gone back in. So there are lots and lots of changes, lots and lots of updates. But if you have the Vector product, grab it. You need it. It's awesome. So yeah, really important. Make sure you get that one if you have one of the Vector products. And also they've released some new libraries as well. So make sure that you update your libraries. Well, folks, that pretty much wraps up my first episode back from my break. So happy Halloween to everybody. I look forward to seeing you guys all very soon. If you want to keep in touch with me and want to see what we're up to, don't forget to like and subscribe here on the channel, as well as come and find me, like my Facebook page, and or follow me on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24 on Facebook or on Twitter. Alright guys, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.